Hello and welcome back to Top 5 Scary. I'm Taylor, your casual crypt keeper, and I got a question for you. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Well, it's good for some things. The military-industrial complex thrives on it, and battlefields make for some great historical places to visit once the war's all done. But after the bones have been buried and the ashes scattered, what remains, I ask you? Take my hand and let's take a trip through some of the most haunted battlefields across the world. Keep your head down, private, and follow me as we dive into the top 5 most haunted battlefields across the world. You let me know down below if you're a big history buff. Are there any of these battlefields that you would just love to see with your own eyes, or are you more of a at-home in the bunker kind of soldier? Let me know down below. Number 5, Gettysburg. For Americans, the Battle of Gettysburg is probably one of the more famous battles in your history. It was an incredibly bloody battle that marked a turning point in the war towards the Union, as it was a heavy victory over the Confederacy, halting the moving invasion towards the north. And that's about all the American history I remember from school. Unfortunately though, grand victories come at an impossible cost, and as such, countless lives were lost. Well, not entirely countless. Historians have estimated that the number hovers around 50,000 soldiers killed. With that in mind, with 50,000 lives cut short amidst a torrent of screams, bayonet jabs, musket fire, and cannons blasting off, is it any surprise that some of these tortured souls haven't quite been able to move on just yet? Gettysburg isn't just a place where history comes alive, it's a place where it hasn't quite fully died. The town of Gettysburg is filled with historical tours and ghost tours you can go on, with visitors and locals claiming that just about anywhere you go, you'll find something mysterious happening. Phantom shots, battle cries reverberating out hundreds of years later. One of the more haunted points of interest is the Devil's Den. I mean, obviously, listen to the name. A particularly bouldery stretch of land in Gettysburg that was host to a brutal battle where 5,000 soldiers died alone. Visitors claim that they can see the apparitions of the soldiers still at war. One particularly freaky Gettysburg story that they probably leave out of the history books is the story of Jenny Wade. Jenny Wade was a civilian killed during the Battle of Gettysburg when a stray bullet struck her while she was baking bread. The house where she lived, now known as the Jenny Wade House, is believed to be haunted by her spirit. Visitors and staff have reported hearing footsteps, doors opening and closing on their own, and the aroma of freshly baked bread, all attributed to Jenny's presence. Well, at least there's someone still making food for all those ghostly soldiers. If anyone's ever been down to Gettysburg, let me know if you've ever had a weird experience there. I would love to hear it. And if you're looking for more weird experiences of ghosts and all things supernatural, well, you don't have to book a plane ticket anywhere because you're in exactly the right place already. Make sure you hit subscribe so you can get all the latest on our scary stuff, and ring that little bell as well, and you'll get up-to-date notifications when we upload. But do that at the end of this video, okay? Because I got 4 more scary battlefields coming for you right now. Number 4, Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo, that's the one in Belgium, not the Kitchener-Waterloo area, was fought in 1815 and was a significant historical event for a few reasons. First and foremost, I think we can all agree the most important thing that came out of the Battle of Waterloo was that it inspired one of ABBA's most time-tested bangers. Secondly, and less important, it was a conflict that ended up ending Napoleon's impressive rule, ending the Napoleonic Wars. Just like the Battle of Gettysburg, this was a brutal battle that claimed the lives of thousands of soldiers on both sides. If you're learning anything from this video, it's that war is not great for the soldiers. One of the most famous ghostly legends associated with the Waterloo battlefields revolves around a spectral little drummer boy. According to the story, visitors and locals have reported hearing the faint sound of a drum being played in the distance, and it's said that this haunting sound resembles a military drummer echoing through the night. Some people claim that they see an apparition dressed in this uniform believed to be the ghost of a young drummer boy who lost his life during the battle. Another ghostly encounter is the soldiers' apparitions. Visitors claim that sometimes you can see shadowy figures dressed in period uniforms, marching across the fields or standing silently as if reliving battles. They're described as fleeting and ethereal, vanishing as soon as they are noticed. Well, you know, maybe ghosts get shy too when they're not ready. As well, visitors to Waterloo battlefields claim that they have felt a profound sense of sadness and unease while walking through the fields and exploring the landmarks. Definitely, I feel like any place like this where you just know how many lives have been lost all in one little stretch of land, that would kind of make me feel some sort of way. Waterloo. Couldn't escape if I wanted to. How right ABBA was. Number 3, the Bannockburn Battlefield. Our Our next entry on the list today is in Scotland, near the village of Stirling, and it's the Bannockburn Battlefield, a site of great historical significance for Scotland due to the Battle of, well, wouldn't you guess it, Bannockburn. The forces of King Robert of Scotland and King Edward II of England clashed, leading to a huge loss for the English, as 11,000 of their knights were cut down in battle. Now, this battlefield may not be as outright haunted as some of the other locations I've talked about so far, but the locals still say to keep your eyes peeled for spirits. Kind of like the drummer boy, there's a legend of a ghostly piper who is said to haunt this battlefield, and that he appears at dusk, playing his pipes and leading an invisible army across the field. Some witnesses claim that they can hear a faint bagpipe sound or even see a spectral figure dressed in traditional Scottish attire. He's forever marching with his troops, and let me just say, I don't think I could imagine anything half as haunting as a ghostly bagpipe that's playing forever. Imagine being forced to play the bagpipes for all of eternity. That's worse than any hell could conjure. Visitors to Bannockburn Battlefield also report seeing ghostly figures dressed in armor. They are described as being transparent or glowing and are believed to, well, be the spirits of knights who fell in battle. Witnesses have described seeing these apparitions while walking near monuments and memorials dedicated to battle, and claim they can even hear the echoes of it, clanging of steel, and let's be real, probably still playing those bagpipes louder than anything you can hear. I can't imagine how annoying a ghost bagpipe player is, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get over that. Number 2, the Borodino Battlefield. The Battle of Borodino was fought on September 7, 1812 during Napoleon's failed invasion of Russia and was one of the grisliest conflicts of the war. Are we surprised that 2 different battlefields from the Napoleonic Wars are considered haunted? I'm not particularly, because that guy invaded a lot of places, and I'm willing to bet that emotions were probably pretty high around him, and I would say the vibe was just probably off. So I'm not surprised that enough emotionally tormented souls have spawned so many ghosts. The village of Borodino is about 70 miles west of Moscow and has a reputation for ghostly legends and reported hauntings. Why don't you pop your ears open and take a listen to some of the stranger things that have come out of the Borodino battlefield. According to local legends, on the right nights, particularly the anniversary of the battle, witnesses claim to hear the sounds of galloping horses and the clash of sabers as the cavalry rushes in. Some people take it a little step further and say they've even seen apparitions of the cavalry charging, as if they're reenacting the battle. You guys can't get over the war. You fought it once already. You don't have to fight it for eternity. You don't have to keep fighting it. It's over. It's done. It happened. There are people too who claim that they've encountered a spectral figure dressed in a white medical coat, believed to be the ghost of a surgeon who worked on the wounded during the battle. Witnesses describe seeing the apparition wandering through the battlefield, appearing and disappearing amidst the ruins and remnants of war. Would absolutely hate to be a ghost surgeon. You're gonna try and repair other ghosts. I don't know if you can do surgery on a ghost. I think that might be for life. I think if you get injured and then turn into a ghost, you're just gonna have to deal with like a big hole in your tummy forever. But I don't know. I'm not a ghost. I wouldn't know. Unlike some of the other entries that I've talked about on this list, there isn't like a huge culture for ghost tours in Borodino, so if you do end up going up near there, you're gonna be on your own looking for the ghosts. But maybe they're just not as spiritual there, or maybe they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they don't want to invite people to come see it. And number 1, Normandy. The battle at Normandy is probably one of the most well-known battles in the history of human armed conflict. You've probably seen it play out in countless movies. You've probably played the invasion in 1,000 video games. June 6th, 1944 was D-Day. The horrifying, legendary military operation resulting in an estimate of 20,000 casualties. It was one of the most painful battles of the Second World War, so it is no surprise at all how haunted Normandy is said to be. Now, Omaha Beach is one of the more infamous landing sites during the D-Day invasion. It's said that the spirits of fallen soldiers still linger around in the area. Visitors have reported hearing all the usual haunting sounds, disembodied voices, cries for help, artillery, screams, and again, particularly bold claims say that you can see ghastly apparitions of soldiers on both sides of the conflict still dressed in full uniform. The town of Falaise was the strategic location during the Battle of Normandy, and there have been wild reports of people saying that they see a phantom tank roaming around the streets, claiming that you hear the rumble of tank tracks and witness the apparition of a tank disappearing into thin air. Some believe it represents the spirit of a tank crew lost in the battle. This is a new one for me. I don't know if I've ever heard of a machine ghost. I've heard of people ghosts, definitely, but I've never heard of a tank ghost, and it does make me wonder if can all vehicles be ghosts? Are there car ghosts? Are there plane ghosts? I'm not sure, but I'd love to know. Now, these are just a few examples of the many, many ghostly stories and hauntings associated with Normandy. The region's intense conflict and sacrifice has left a sort of permanent mark on the area. You know, it's kind of hard to separate Normandy from that big thing that happened there. So many visitors do report feeling kind of eerie and unexplained when visiting these historic sites. I think you walk around an area like that, you're just thinking about a lot of death. It's definitely on your mind. So whether or not these encounters are truly supernatural or all just a result of powerful emotions while you're thinking about war, well, that's up to your interpretation. And that's about all she wrote for this one, my ghouls and goblins. Thanks so much for watching. You keep on creeping on now, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Take it easy now.